everything comes back to you. You are the center of your universe. You are the center of the source in this moment, acting as reality. And we come through and interact with each other as source seeing itself. We forget that we are source. We forget that we are all these particular energies. We forget that we know how to utilize these energies. And it's interesting to sort of come back to this moment where I'm starting to go, well, hang on, there's these energies available. And the more I'm raising my vibration, the more I'm releasing, the more I'm able to let more of that light in, the more I'm able to comprehend and have an awareness. I still can't fully understand. It's going to take us humans quite a while to evolve into that, I believe. So at the moment, it is surrendering to the channel of information that wants to come through me and the creative force that wants to come through me, in the same way that that is happening for all of you. Releasing is a byproduct of letting in more of who we really are and letting that come through us as the doorway, the gateway. So our particular way, our signature self, our tune or fortune or heartbeat, that's all integrated into how we act and what we do as we're listening to the inner source or following the urges of inner source. I say listening because it works for me. That's how I hear it. It is my own voice, but it is a form of listening. I hear words and then I sort of start streaming with those words and speaking. So for me, I say listening, but for others, it may be a different experience, and it may be more just a feeling base of living your life, and you're always in the right spot. You're always doing the right thing for yourself. You are evolving and having more awareness and coming into who you are. You're allowing, you're accepting, and you're appreciating, so much so that you begin to amplify, and that light flows through you and helps to recreate the world. It also inspires and it creates new things. So I'm looking forward to the new things that are going to come from all of us. At the moment, there's a conscious awakening, a conscious upraising, a collective of that energy coming through and really gathering. So part of that, the journey we've taken, is to help be the grounding points, like lightning bolts, I guess, for these energies on high. So we're not the only ones doing it. It's not just humans. It is also all other sentient beings of the different realms of Earth and the different planes or dimensions, and also those that, you know, are helping from above, or for want of words, or from another dimension as well. So that part of all of us is recognizing, and these energies are locking in, recognizing that we're ready to start letting more of this bliss in, more of the peace, more of the integrity, more of the rainbow, basically. That's my way of what it is. But I know that it doesn't just include color, and it is deeper than the color we see, but we need to use what our brain comprehends. So hence why I call it colors and words like bliss, right? It's an overarching word. How that plays out for you can have a billion different stories, right? But the spectrum, you know, I might be tuning into a particular kind of yellow, and you might be just next to it on another frequency tuning in there, and that applies to you differently. In the same way that I might pick up a crystal that is the same crystal as you, say a citrine or amethyst or whatever, we're both holding the same one, but there is a different frequency, a different conglomerate of information, a different requirement for what I need to what you need. And yet if we followed that, let's say citrine, because it's yellow and we're on the yellow path, if we followed that citrine back to its highest source, it would all meet together. We would all come into the highest of high. And in that citrine, we would know that it speaks this light language which includes glyphs, which includes fractals, which includes sound and cymatics and all sorts of vibrational ways of speaking. And then it has to come through us and come through our capacity and let's call it limitation, but it is our languaging, our way of feeling. And yet on a spirit level, heart level, we know all of that. We know how life creates. We know what it does. We may not be able to language it, but when we get still, when we really allow that inner world to come out, we are aware of how it all works. Yes, we're here as scientists trying to measure it and give it words. And, that's a whole journey in all of itself. But in reality, within, we know it. We recognize it. What has been the story for us is to awaken to the fact it exists, to the fact that energy is utilized by us in all sorts of different ways. And that's why we're having this recognition now of things like other people interfering in our energy or acting with their energy in ways that aren't very nice or are beautiful, when you can feel the energy of someone who is extremely high loving person and you just think, wow, I can feel that. So you start to recognize energy, you start to recognize the feeling of it all. So what is happening for us at the minute with things like allowing these energies in is that sense of resistance. And what I mean by resistance is the fact that we have forgotten. We've forgotten for so long that we no longer know what that is. In fact, our bodies have been conditioned to not recognize it. And what our bodies will do is contract from that energy. Even though at a heart level, we know what that energy is and we know that it is a high vibe energy and we know how to utilize it. There are parts of us or experiences of us across time and space as our multidimensional self that also know what that energy can be utilized for in good and bad, right? And here I am labeling what is bad, what is good, but we know as a human race, we know what is bad, right? What is nasty, what is pain, what is sore, what is not a way that we really want to be operating in this world, that we hope to see more love and bliss, the joy. Bliss is that heartfelt, creative play. It is the ability to just let yourself be yourself and to be confident in that. The resistance, yes, we're all aware of the resistance, as in I have blockages or I have trauma or I have pain or I have worries, right? My thing here that I'm really focused on is the fact that you are so powerful and so knowing that you are actually concerned about letting this energy come through. What if it is used by those who are unaware and unconscious, but are still utilizing energy in different formats, and they may be stuck in a particular way and a particular route of utilizing that energy, and I don't want to give that energy to them. I don't want to help them in any way. That's one form of resistance we have in not owning our power. Another form of resistance that we can have is that we are aware that change is about to happen when we start letting this bliss or all these high energies on high, but I'm focused here on bliss, this creative joy, this confident me to walk through the door and be who I am and be this kind of, it's not saying that we're happy all the time, but this person who sees the best in everything and is willing to be in the now moment and problem solve from there. And that can frighten people and it can frighten ourselves. It can frighten our inner knowing in certain ways of, oh, here we go, what's going to happen? My world's going to change. We can also, as empaths, feel the difference in those around us who we love, our family, our friends, our work colleagues, and we can feel them getting antsy about our change because they are energetically aware that we are changing. They are energetically aware that we're starting to flow these higher energies and that these higher energies create change. They begin to pull apart things that are not truth and not health. And we recognize that this is happening around us. And so we pull in, we kind of people please, let's say, or constrict our own energy and won't let it flow, because we are now starting to feel the, let's call it a tantrum, or agitation, or whatever else is going on in those around us. So we can have that as one of the senses of resistance as well. The final sense of resistance that we talk about now is the recognition that I will have to use this power to do stuff. Okay, now I don't have to, but it will naturally happen for me. I will present myself differently. People may not like me. My world might change. I may have to go against the grain, speak about things that are different, be weird, right? I feel like I have to still say my acronym for those who haven't heard it, and some of you have heard it a million times, but weird being willingly exploring in random directions. But we're also aligning to something great. This is the evolution in us. This is the need in us. This is what we are truly heart desiring, to see this change through our creative expression. So we resist things like, I don't want to get a job. I don't want to work the economic machine, or I don't want to play family. I don't want to do certain things that are the so-called etiquette and expectation of life, or how things supposedly work. And we give our faith instead to the universe, right? Or whatever you call it, to my higher power, to our higher power togetherness, that can actually start to bring about something else, that can actually bring into material world things that have never experienced or been happening before. So we can actually start to utilize this concept of energy and give it words, give it understanding. So that'll require us speaking against the scientists, the medical profession, things like that. But there are ways that we can do that in a more gentle way, by just allowing the energy and trusting that it will guide me in a way that keeps me safe, that keeps pushing but breaking through, not like head on, but breaking through little bit by little bit, just scraping away some of these rules, some of these attitudes around the way I'm presenting my stuff. So I don't have to panic that I'm suddenly gonna, if I let this energy through, that I'm suddenly gonna be pinging energy everywhere and talking about all this stuff, or acting like this and seeming like I'm some sort of wild rebel. Okay, we can quietly just grow into this joyous sort of being who allows ourselves to say, well, no, I'm putting a boundary up on that, or I'm refusing to actually participate in that, in the nicest of ways, because as we're listening and feeling and allowing the energy, we will always work with the universal workings, and we will always find those little gaps that are the right space for us to step into, where it is a slide in or a grace, an ease, right? So this is where the rainbow of all of this comes in, to feel our bliss, to feel our wisdom, our integrity, our sovereignty, our wonder, to feel the grace of us, and to actually feel the peace that comes from being that. So that's the illumination. That's who we are and what we are. And when we are illuminated, yes, we are seen, but we are seen in ways that are a way that sort of goes, wow, I can't handle her, so I need to step away a little bit. But they'll come back to you. They'll come back, or not you, maybe someone else. When it's time for people to switch that switch, they will start to want to know more. So it is about getting bolder. It is about allowing yourself to have the confidence to speak. Now, you don't have to be out on a major platform. It just might be with a particular group of friends. And you just say, you know what, I'm not really feeling this. It doesn't sit well with me. And that's a different way of speaking. A lot of people don't get that. They're like, what do you mean it doesn't sit well with you? If you're an energetic person, you kind of go, oh yeah, I get it, right? But a lot of people don't get that. And so you may have to be the person who explains, oh, it just energetically doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm crashing here and I'm just not willing to do that. And they'll be like, well, explain more. And you say, but I can't. This is a knowing. This is a feeling. I can't explain to you in a nice, neat package that makes you feel happy about it. I just have to step away, or no, I'm not willing to, or whatever, in a way that it allows you to express more of what we've been afraid to express. And the words will come when you're flowing with the bliss or the higher energies. When you're allowing yourself to flow with this joy, this confidence of being, I'm allowed to be and I'm allowed to do. That's what bliss says, right? That's my innate intelligence. I am, I exist, and I have choices. And I don't have to lock myself in to the way that it is expected. So in this flowing of the bliss, rather than trying to figure out what it is that I need to let go of, or what am I coming up against, and looking at the, let's call it, negative thing, instead, I'm actually going to flow with bliss. I am an aware being that this energy exists. Megan might call it bliss. I might call it something else. Megan might say it's yellow spectrum, whereas I'm more interested in its frequency of hertz or its symbolic natures. But then again, I might be quite happy to adopt Megan's idea of yellow spectrum and bliss, right? It's not important what you call it. It's the recognition that it's there and that you allow it to flow through you, that you begin to let your body change. So we are moving beyond just a chakral system and a light body system of the Merkaba. That is actually increasing. We're moving beyond the blue body to a different template. We're actually altering our genetics. We're tapping into the magnetic core of Earth, the sun, and everything else that has a magnetic core that takes us right back to source. We're actually allowing ourselves to have a genetic upload, to actually change the way our cellular self works. The magnetic and electronic and electric, should I say, parts of ourselves are changing. So this is where resistance can be fully in the body when I start flowing with these energies. So it is a mindset to go, okay, my body's feeling achy, or it's, I know I've opened up, had this great intention that I'm going to let these energies come in. I may sit there deliberately at times, I'm going to have stillness and be with it. When I'm about to go to bed, I'm thinking about running these energies, or I may have just said, yeah, I'm open to this and it's running. So it'll come in at the appropriate times because the universal workings is aware of what you're needing and what's happening and what is a requirement. But there are times when you suddenly feel this energy and you think, I need to sleep or lay down or relax with this and flow with it. And then you might be like, but I'm supposed to get the shopping done and clean the bathroom. Is that super important? Spirit will say, we know you have a shopping list and we know you have the bathroom, right? But we'll get it in there at an energy time that suits. And it might actually challenge some of your sensibilities. So it might challenge the fact that, oh, but I'm a bit OCD and need my bathroom cleaned all the time. Or I have a routine that the bathroom gets cleaned every fortnight. Or it is pretty grotty and blah, 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 blah. And I can't stand that. And now I feel bad. Like people are judging me. Mind you, no one's seeing my bathroom, but I'm feeling judged, right? Well, that's all coming from you. That's the resistance also that is to be stripped away. You just have a much more stronger awareness of that. But there is scattered trauma in your body. So the brain itself has broken things up that it cannot sustain anymore as a memory, and it literally scatters it throughout your body and throughout your aura, and it will actually register in your brain as a trauma around the smell of something. So the smell will set off a trauma or set off an agitation or a chemical reaction in your body. The sense of being in small spaces may set off something. And it's a trauma that you go, I don't even know if it relates to this life. It might relate to another life. But all of this is held in our bodies. And so there's these sort of fractured memories or energetic blobs, let's call them, in our body, in our system. Those are the things that start to create a lot of toxins in our bodies as well, and actually attract more of the toxins. And so we want to eat more sugar or eat things that aren't that healthy, and we're not really concerned about cleaner water because we don't care that plastics are in our body, because there is this magnetic situation happening with these fractured memory blobs or energy blobs. So bliss can wash a lot of that out. So people who've been working on themselves very committedly and strongly, like myself for the last 10 years, will find that there's these bits and pieces that you can't identify them, but you know they exist, and your body is saying, let's run this bliss, because it will find them. It will say, this doesn't relate to anything in the spectrum of bliss, or this is what we would say is sitting below, allowing you to flow bliss and to flow your body into the fifth dimensional capacities that it is capable of. It is not allowing more of your multidimensionality to embody and blend with you. It is not allowing you to be the spirited being that you truly are. So those things can be shifted. Now, an example of this was that I literally had a dream. It wasn't a dream, it's an experience where I felt like I was being led to certain parts of my body, certain parts of my field of expression and creativity. I just see it as a field. I also have a house. It changes and morphs, but there's a house that I step into that is part of my home, myself, my vehicle. And I was actually seeing these fractions of memory, and I couldn't fully pick what they were, but they were literally like different beings to me, different experiences of that. It's like a little framework about who it belonged to. I could sort of see the legacy of it. And I was actually going up to those and saying, no, you need to come now. And I was literally seeing, and I'm awake, saying to myself, okay, I need to, flow yellow all over this being. And I could see them kind of coming to ash and then just dispersing. And I knew that they were kind of being taken to source and away from me. And so I don't know how that relates fully into the physicality of me, but I was certainly in a buzzy state, and I could feel my entire body encased in energy. And that part of me was aware on some level of the micro state of me, and was in there working it. But in my dream state, my brain, it was giving it to me as these areas that I have, of capacity and how it sees it, and these particular beings, and even just a recognition of that was a part of me in another time frame. That was a part of this being of me in another time frame. That was a part of someone else's being that has nothing to do with me, but I've taken on board the imprint of them, and it's in my story, and I'm letting that go. So it was a very interesting exercise, and I guess that hey, I'm doing the whole bliss thing as much as you guys are doing it, and it's experiencing these new energies that are locked in and growing with them, allowing the capacity of them to strengthen. And as I say, we're releasing resistance, releasing old, and reworking our new system and allowing for more of these high energies to flow as us, to allow the light, allow the shine, allow the illumination. Whew, okay. Okay, so I'm getting that they want me to take you through your own, it's not an activation, it's just a guided sort of flow of this energy. So if you all would like to, just going to close this off, get comfortable. All right. So if you'd like to close your eyes, hang on. Feeling very buzzy right now. Just talking about all the bliss energy. Okay. So relaxing into your body. Roll your shoulders a little bit. Move your hips a little bit. Just let yourself relax. Feeling yourself drop into your pelvis. Relaxing in your chair. Relaxing the body. Taking a deep breath. Taking a deep breath. Feeling the energy grow. Feeling the source of you at the very center, the core, that heart and solar plexus area. Taking a deep breath, letting the energy grow. I want you to recognize that the yellow spectrum, the energy of bliss, comes through your core. Taking a deep breath, letting it expand from that center. The yellow is growing. You feel the truth. The yellow is honoring the truth. It is sharing the truth. In yourself, you know that you are truth. You are these high energies. You're expanding the yellow from your chest, from your back, from your belly, from your lower back. Expanding the yellow, opening up more. Coming more and more into yourself. Relaxing. You can feel the heart pulsation from the very core of you. You have your own special heartbeat. You come into your own. You are ready. You have been waiting for this. You feel your own beat. It's your truth, your essence, speaking as one. It's your team, speaking, existing, acting with you, honoring you, holding you up tight so that you feel held in every moment. As you flow this yellow energy from you, you are protected, you are guided, Accepting this is easy. Remind your body that it is easy. The bliss is health in you. It is wealth in you. The bliss flows with your beat, your tune. It allows you to come into your own. You accept it. Say to yourself, I am flowing with bliss. Bliss is my norm. I accept the ease that bliss brings. I allow the flow. I am safe. This loving me is allowed to step in to this world. This loving me is allowed to speak. I accept that I am a spirited being and I flow with the illumination. Bliss is my heart. Bliss is my truth. I am bliss. Take a deep breath and let the bliss flow from your body into your field. It's flowing from you, marrying with the universal workings. Creative joy, creative truth with your heartbeat, your tune. Going out into the world and making a path that is highlighted for you. I breathe in bliss. I breathe out bliss. Yellow in, yellow out. Relaxing, allowing. Okay, letting yourself gently come back, remembering this room, bringing yourself back to the chair. Knowing you are flowing with bliss. If you don't feel you want to rush back, that's okay. Stay where you are.